Hi Year 5 and welcome to Wednesday's reading skills lesson. So today for our warm-up we've got another picture to look at and we're going to apply some Viper skills to the picture that we've got here. The first question is going to be a retrieval question. It's a bit of a thinker. How many legs are there in this scene? So in the picture, how many legs are there? Now we're going to have to think not just the legs that we can see. Of all the animals that are in the scene, how many legs are there in total? It's a bit of a thinking question, that one. Look at the picture and use it to help you answer the vocabulary question. Here we've got a giraffe stampede. So what does stampede mean? And the last question, I want you to explain how the artist shows that the giraffes are running quickly, not walking slowly. How does he show speed and running in the picture? Okay, here come some possible answers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 giraffe plus 1 elephant. So that's 8 quadrupeds. So 8 animals with 4 legs. We're going to do 8 times 4, which is 32. And then we're going to add the human in the front, the 2, to give us a total of 34. Stampede. Well, a stampede is defined as a sudden frenzied rush of panic-stricken animals. But you might have something like animals running together, a group of animals running or sprinting as fast as they can. And in the explain part, we can see in the picture that speed is shown through the clouds of dust that the giraffe are kicking up. Or we can see it in the way that the giraffe's legs are shown with them straight up. Or we could also say, actually, now I'm just looking at it, we could show that we could kind of see it in the position of the painter, the way that they're frantically kind of stretching to see giraffe. So today we're going to focus on V and R from Vipers. That means we're looking at what? Yep, we're looking at retrieval and vocabulary. So I'm going to stop at a few points today to discuss vocabulary, and then we've got a couple of tasks today that are linked to vocabulary and some retrieval as well. So yesterday we looked at the early stage of chocolate production, the growing of the cacao pods. Today we're going to look at the second stage, how to handle the beans. All right. After the pods have grown to the appropriate size, the farmers begin the dangerous task of splitting open the pods with their machetes and scooping out the pulp-covered cocoa seeds manually. Manually, this means that they do that by hand, not in a machine. Cocoa pods have tough skins and it can take 2 or 3 blows with a machete to open one up. Each pod can contain between 30 and 40 cocoa beans. A skilled worker can hack up to 500 pods in 1 hour. Now that sounds like hard work. Once collected, the farmers pile these seeds under banana leaves to ferment in the hot sun. The word there, ferment. Fermenting is a process that certain foods and drinks undergo. It's one that's used a lot in alcoholic drinks. When sugar is allowed to ferment, it turns into alcohol, and this is how we get wine and beer. So wine is made by allowing the sugars in grapes to ferment, and then they produce alcohol in the grape juice, and this gives us wine. So fermenting is used in chocolate production as well, but not in a way to create alcohol. This causes the seeds to heat up naturally, triggering chemical changes that alter the look and flavour of the seeds. Eventually they turn a rich dark brown and begin to taste like bitter chocolate. On to our next paragraph then. Farmers then need to dry the fermented cocoa seeds in the sun and do so on rooftops, tables or large mats. Drying cocoa seeds prevents them from becoming compromised during shipping. Now compromised is going to come into one of our questions today. So I'm just going to give a few hints and tips about how to unlock the meaning of that word. Drying cocoa seeds prevents, that means stops them. So the drying process stops the seeds from becoming compromised during shipping. Let's think about it. During the shipping, so while we're moving the cocoa seeds from one place to another, What are we not going to want to happen to them? We're going to want to keep them in really good condition. So we don't want any compromising going on. That should give you a few hints as to what the meaning of that word is. As the weather is so warm in equatorial countries, the seeds will be thoroughly dry in about 10 days. To ensure they dry evenly, farmers spend time turning the seeds during the drying process. Now, stage 3, the trade, I'm going to move this one up here, and I'd like you to read this text yourself rather than me read it to you. So just pause the video and read that one to yourself. Okay, right, here come today's questions. First question is, why is preparing cocoa seeds a dangerous task? So look back at the first paragraphs of the text and analyse what is it about the tasks of preparing cocoa seeds that make them dangerous. Before you answer that, I want you to remember this is about today's text, not yesterday's. I don't want to know about why farming is dangerous. I want to know why preparing is dangerous. Question 2. After which process do the seeds change colour and develop the bitter taste? So find those key words in the text to do with a bitter taste and to do with changing colour. What is the process that comes before this occurs? Use the text to explain how a fermented cocoa seed is dried. So you want to give an explanation of what is involved in the drying process. You're looking to find and copy a word that could mean spoiled. Then I want you to find and copy a verb that farmers do to ensure even drying. So start that process by thinking, what's a verb? Once you've found some potential verbs in the area of drying, you want to ensure you've got the one that the farmers do to make sure that drying is even. Question 6. Explain what the word scrutinise suggests about the way the buyers look at the beans. Question 7. Give an advantage for a farmer of being part of a fair trade cooperative. So you can pause here for the first 4 questions. And you can pause here for 5, 6 and 7. Here come your answers today. Here come the answers. So we said that preparing cocoa seeds is a dangerous task because the farmers use machetes to hack the pods open by hand. After the fermenting or fermentation process, the seeds change colour and develop the bitter taste. The seeds are dried in the hot sun on rooftops. The key things that you need there is in the hot sun. You didn't need to give those 3 places. The word that means spoiled is compromised. The verb that the farmers did to ensure even drying was turning. The word scrutinised suggests that they looked closely and thoroughly at the beans. And the advantages that you could have had for the farmer were that they're guaranteed a fair price for their beans, that they can always ensure they cover their costs and can plan from the future, or that they can have a say in how their product is produced and sold. Just one of those 3. Okay, that's our reading skills for today. I'll be back tomorrow for our next insight into the production of delicious chocolate.